Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are a new subscriber, a regular hand, please give yourself a massive thumbs up. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Beata Emily Madasane Matula Hoshi. Yes, so I'm a 2023-2024 CHEVENING scholar at the University of Glasgow. I'm currently studying my master's in inclusive education, and I am also a Mandela Washington alumni. Yeah. So before going any further, I would like to assist you guys, like those of you who would probably love to apply for the CHEVENING scholarship, because I want you guys to all win. And if you don't know what CHEVENING scholarship is, please Google about CHEVENING scholarship. Okay, so I'm going to assist with the essay writing. I know some people believe that essay writing is very much challenging and whatsoever. Please remove all those kind of negative information from your mind, because anything that you feed your mind, trust me, it turns out to be a reality. So just tell yourself that you're going to write the essays. If you're interested in applying for CHEVENING scholarship, which I don't know why you wouldn't be interested, because everything is just so perfect here. So I will assist you with how to probably respond to the essays. There are about 4 essays of which you need to respond to. Yes, and because I want to spoil you rotten, I'll give you some of my examples, such that I'm not saying you should use them because that won't be you, but the examples that I'll be giving you will probably bring some light, but I'll give them as we progress after stating what you guys need to do. Yes. And what I would love to say is that because this is such a very competitive scholarship, you need to make sure that you write everything in a good way and you don't miss anything else. And remember that in this essays, I think all of them need you to write a minimum of 100 and then a maximum of 500 words. So please don't be fooled by the number of words and then believe that when you write about 500 or 400 something words, it's already guaranteed. No, somebody who could probably write 100 words could still make it to the next phase. So don't be fooled by that. It's all about the content that is inside. So I'm going to share with you what I did. Okay, so I wrote the questions down and then some of the points down here. So the first essay question reads as follows: CHEVENING is looking for future leaders or influencers in their home countries. Explain how you meet this requirement using clear examples of your own leadership and influencing skills to support your answer. So I hope you heard that I said of your own. Yeah. So the first thing that you probably have to do before even thinking of the kind of example that you will probably write or the kind of examples that you will give out here is, firstly, listen carefully to what the question says, digest it, and then after digesting it, pick out the keywords, the important keywords in here. I know the keywords can kind of be relative, like depending on how you're probably looking at the question, but according to me, I would say that the keywords in this are future leaders or influencers, home countries, and clear examples, own leadership, and influencing skills. Yes, so I would believe that those are the kind of keywords that are available here. So the best way to probably go around with this essay is by using a STAR approach. If you do not know what the STAR approach is, please go Google it. STAR approach as an STAR. Yes, and sometimes people say style as an STARL, and then the L could probably mean lesson length out of the whole thing. So if you don't know what the STAR approach is, no problem, please do go and Google what the STAR approach means and how it probably works. I'm not going to talk about it, but if you would want me to talk about it in a separate video, then I will, but not now. Yes, try to recall the incident or incidents. In fact, try to recall incidents whereby you used your leadership and influencing skills in different places, and then try to write them down. Probably you would have about top 5 of them, and then out of this top 5, because like I said, it's such a competitive scholarship, if only you knew that last year, like there were about 70,000 applications and only about 1,500 people made it out of that 70,000. So you want to make sure that when you write, you leave nothing, like you leave no questions. Like people reading your essays will just be like, okay, yeah, we do understand, and it's more like they were there when you were doing that. You're going to tell them what you do, what you, or how you did things. Yes. And please, before continuing, don't ever criticize your leadership skills. Like anything that you did is it's good, okay? And there's no big leadership role or small leadership role. That's it. That is according to me. Everything and anything that you do or that you did then was very much good. For instance, some other people might think that I feel like if I mention or if I give an example as a class rep, that's too weird or that's not okay. No, it's not. It's still okay. It's very much okay, because it's not everybody who is a who has been who has been a class rep. Like class reps are chosen through leadership skills, and it's not an easy job. Like it's not an easy job. I know some kind of people are very much shy, and they, yeah, you know, yeah, they're very much shy. Let me just say it that way. So think, like, which incident was it whereby I probably gave those kind of leadership skills? That is which, right? Where was I? With whom? What was my role? With this one, I want to stress it very much. When I'm saying what was my role, I'm not saying what was our roles, okay? Because what happens is, if you mention that we did this with these people, we you keep on saying we, it's not about we, it's about you, what you did as a person, not what other people did. Instead, even if you were working collaboratively with other people, it's fine, but what was your role in that? Like, what was your role in that? And also, what were the results? What was so special about what you did? You know, it's very much important to state how special what you did was, okay? One thing about Chevening scholarship in all these 4 essays, please don't be scared of showing off. Don't be scared at all. What do I mean by saying this? Don't be scared of showing how much you know, okay? Make sure that you read books. Make sure that you are able to link whatever example or examples that you say with something that is known. What are the stats? Who wrote about this? Who's probably somebody known or something like that. Like, you should make sure that you have, like, you show that you have done your research, and like there's nothing that they can probably stop you. With the Chevening scholarship, guys, when you write some examples or this essays, there's no time whereby you'll say you are wrong. Instead, you always write for as long as you are able to support your answers. Yeah. As you make examples, make sure that there is a central theme in whatever you do. My central theme is education, okay? Someone else's central theme would probably be health. Someone's would be youth empowerment, teenage pregnancy, whatnot. But there should be coherence in whatever thing that you said, such that if someone is reading your essays, like 4 of them, they should probably have an imagery of, okay, I can already see that this person is really passionate about this. Like, he or she knows what he wants or what he is already doing. Not like in the first example, you be talking about health, the second one talking about education, the third one talking about something different. No, probably try as much as possible to, I know that those kind of people, because we're diverse, but please try as much as possible to have a central theme in all those 4 essays, because it will assist you in so many ways. And as you do all this, what you need to do is you will need to partition your essay. This is how I would advise you to partition it. You know very well that there is an introduction, there is a conclusion, and there is the body right here. And then in the body, I would say, or let me say this, in the introduction, that is probably whereby you are going to give out a very brief explanation of what you believe leadership is, or leadership roles or role is according to you. you personally, not according to the known person or whoever was famous or whoever is famous, according to you, because that way it's going to probably try to bring the reader to your mind, because remember, you won't be there to probably respond to the questions that they would have for you on your related to your questions. So do so. It wouldn't make sense for someone, like, just making an example, if you're probably working in a new country and then you are about to present anything to people who have never heard about you, and then the first thing that you probably do, no greeting, no introductions, you just start like presenting and then going. People will be like, is this person okay? Like, is he or she okay? You have to start first by the introduction. So that's why I'm like, with the introduction part, make sure that you define hanyani, like a little bit, what do you think leadership is, and then after doing that, then that is whereby you will start with your first example. Okay, and then in that first example, please make sure that the example that you make is perfect. Okay, like I said, there is no non-perfect example. Okay, but there will be a lot of examples, but then you'll be like, okay, out of this, I know that if I say this example, it's going to gain, like, I'm going to gain more marks than any other example. Okay, make sure that you tell us when it was, where it was, how it was before, how it was when you probably participated, how it was after, how it is currently, and probably what really provoked you or what really intrigued you to doing whatever thing that you did, and like, what was the impact, what did you learn out of this whole thing. Make sure that you answer all these questions that I'm talking about, because trust me, they are very much important. So I said some of the things, I wrote them down here. Yes. So, and then in the conclusion part, obviously you might say the lesson learned out of all these examples. There might be a central lesson learned out of these examples. So I'm going to take you through with my examples. So for those of you who do not know, I am a professional sign language interpreter, a very proud one and a very good one. That's on period. So apart from that, I'm very much passionate about inclusive education, very, very much passionate about that. So I'm going to give you about 2 examples from me. Like, there are so many examples that I did, like so many examples, but I feel like these ones are kind of recent, or they are the ones that touched my heart. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, I am from Lesotho. What happened last year is our country went for general elections, and there was a new political party called Revolution for Prosperity, RFP. So someone did approach me. They were like, okay, this is what we want to do. We want to engage you in our political rallies, whereby we'll be presenting our manifestos to people, such that you could probably interpret for the people with hearing loss. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So what my role was actually was to interpret whatever thing that was said by the political party leader to the people with hearing impairment, because what we can both agree is that people with hearing loss are so much segregated from anywhere where you are. Like, you can just make a mere example, how many TV channels are inclusive to them? Like, how many are they? Like, it's so not easy. And even if I did have time, I wish I had time, or I was going to be able to do this, I used to interpret, to verbally talk and then sign in order to incorporate it. But unfortunately, it's going to be beneficial for people with hearing impairment in Lesotho and in South Africa only, because I know Lesotho and South African sign language only. So the problem is sign language, it's not universal. That's the problem. But that's not where I am. That's not where I was. So what happened is, because there hasn't been engagement or inclusion of people with hearing loss in such platforms, like, you would find that most political party leaders do not care about it. Like, they don't. they just present their manifestos to people with to the hearing people, and after that they are done. They don't care about the needs of the other people without hearing, without the hearing. So there were so many like in my history in those years that I have lived, I'd never seen a magnitude of people with hearing loss that had attended. Like, there were so many. And the very good thing is, after that, the same political party that I'm talking about, which is RFP won, and it became one of the top, it became the top leading political party in the coalition. So in my country, it's a coalition, for those who don't know, of three political parties. So I gave out this example. Why? Because it was a very unique example. Not everyone is thoughtful of people with hearing loss, like incorporating them in that setting. Sorry guys. And also, I talked about the results, right? It was a new thing, or not a usual thing, and also the results that were made there. Okay, after interpreting, then what happened? The same political party won, right? Yes, it did win because of so many reasons that I'm not going to talk about, but then the fact that people with hearing loss were included and other political parties did not include them, that was where the gap was. And then that is why they ended up joining this political party. Okay, so the fact that I was there assisting, I feel like it's one of the leadership roles that I did. Okay, so that is the example that I told you about. Don't forget to say that. And then also, if the lesson learned is, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, because if out of so many political parties, then you would find that not all of them are still like open-minded about that. Because what I personally did before the political elections, I asked for list of political parties and I called them. I called so many of them. I was like, okay, I am so and so and so, so I would like to work hand in hand with you when you present your manifesto at Lesotho television. Is that possible? So many of them turned me down, like so many of them turned me down, and it was fine, because probably because of their own personal reasons. But RFP, together with MEC is another political party which is also part of the coalition, they did not say no. It's just that I was unable to interpret for MEC for certain reasons that were not related to me or related to MEC, but to the third party, of which we couldn't probably solve them. But it's okay. But what I'm trying to say, the lesson learned is, people are still very much ignorant when it comes to inclusion of people with hearing loss, and that is not fine. So please, let's not do that. And then the other second example is, like I said, I'm a sign language interpreter. So I've been interpreting in my country at the National University of Lesotho. It's one of the biggest universities in my country. So I've been interpreting for 4 years, interpreting for a learner or a student with a hearing loss. So she wanted to be a teacher. So what happened is, I did interpret for her, and she completed her 4 years in that program, which are the years that were needed for her to do that. She did not fail. There was not even a single time whereby she failed. There was not even a single time whereby she supplemented. There was not even a single time whereby she carried forward, I don't know what to say that in English, how to say, whereby she carried forward the certain module to another year. And it was all because of what? Because of me, and because of her hard work too, and because of the hard work that was done by the lecturers and some of the students who were working hand in hand with us. So had I probably not been the interpreter, I don't know what could have happened. And what is so special about this example that I'm giving right now, ever since National University of Lesotho has been there, it's one of the oldest universities in my country. I think it's over 50 if not 60 years. yeah, I think it's over 60. Yeah, it's over 60 years of existence. Like they had never ever admitted any learner with hearing loss who completed a degree. Please listen to that very well. This was the first student ever, and in the whole country, not in just not in that university, but in the whole country. There were other learners, but they were not they were not there for their bachelor's degrees. So because of that, I felt like this is the best example, and it really connects with what I believe, or what I really like. Okay, I'm about inclusion, and not just inclusion but educational inclusion. And when I'm talking about inclusion, I am more of what is this, inclusion of people with hearing loss. Why? Because I'm a sign language interpreter, not just as a language interpreter, but also a teacher. I hope this really makes sense, and you probably do understand why I'm saying you should have a central theme. My central theme was education. Another example is, I can't remember, I think it's late last year, when the national elections were announced in my country. So the modes that were used for announcing them was radio and la television. So what happened is, people who were responsible for all that whole preparation of announcing the elections, they were announced at a certain place called Matabison Convention Center. So Matabison Convention Center, I don't know how to explain it, but let me just say, I don't know. Yes, let me not even try to explain it in whatever way. So people with hearing loss were not able to access the information that is said, which was very much wrong. I still say it even today, which was very much wrong. Why? Because they needed to hear what the outcome is, or what the outcome was. Why? Because they perfectly participated, and it's also their right. So it was more like inequality. So because of that, I wrote a post on Facebook. I was like, okay, so I'm really not happy about this whole situation. I don't know what is happening. And then within a blink of an eye, I got a call from one of the people who were organizing the whole thing. They were like, okay, where are you? Can you please come and assist us? I was like, I am far, but I don't mind. I could come like now. So I went. So I was there with other people. So what I did was I interpreted there. So the thing is, the problem was solved, but it was solved partially. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because only people with hearing impairment that were in that area were the only ones who were able to probably see, or to probably have access to that information. And those that had data would probably have access, but those that did not have data, and those that were not in that place, were unable to access it. So I'm talking about those that were at home probably watching television, like it was streamed on television, but there was no interpreter. So because I had a prior experience of working at the national television, what I did was, okay guys, with the people whom we were with, we're like, okay, let's make sure that we call the director, whom I had the numbers, okay, such that tomorrow we interpret in the studios, such in that way people who have hearing loss will be able to have access wherever they are, whether you have data or you don't have data. Even if you do not have data, you are able to access it because you're able to watch the television. Even if you do have data, you can watching on Facebook pages and whatnot. And for those that were, and it was no longer going to be a need for them to probably go to Mantabison Convention Center for that. So I hope you guys see where this whole thing starts, okay? And also a lesson learned out of this, it's still, people are very much ignorant about the needs of people with hearing loss, because sometimes they are ignorant, and sometimes it's because they don't know. But I feel like it's more of ignorance than lack of knowledge. But it's okay, it's for us to keep on pushing and advocating for that kind of inclusion. So I hope that with all this information that I said, there's light and you guys are gonna do it, don't forget to please show off. Okay, tell us about the statistics. Okay, show us that you have read, right?